Okay, it's recording. All right, we're on page 37 in your grammar books. We are talking about interjections. Interjection. You guys know that song?
No.
No, you don't know that song? It's from Schoolhouse Rock. I think I played it for you, huh, Simeon? I think I gave it to you last year. No? Okay, never mind.
You gave me the
Conjunction junction. It's the same type of song. Anyways, an interjection is it expresses emotion. Okay. And it has a strong emotion, usually uses an exclamation mark. When it doesn't have a strong emotion, thank you, it'll use a comma. So look at the example here where it says market, write INT above each interjection. And here it says, yikes, with an exclamation point. That is an interjection. Yikes, the cat is coming. Because remember, we're talking about mice here, so that makes sense, right?
Oh.
And then words like, oh no, or watch out, those types of things are interjections. Okay, usually you use an exclamation point unless it's not a strong emotion, just a comma. Then we need to talk about capitalization, like when to capitalize those things. And it's talking about capitalizing an interjection when it is the first word of the sentence. That's duh, right? First word, always. Capitalize a word that follows the exclamation mark, another duh, right? So here it says, please place 3 short lines below the letters that should be capitalized. You guys already know that. So that's how they fixed this one right here. It says, oh, where can we hide? Ah, this is good. So here we have, oh, it needs to be, all those things need to be capitalized because they're the beginning of each sentence. But notice, ah, A-H, ah. So that's more of like a, we're safe. Because they found a space to hide, right? They're hiding from the cat. Remember before it says, that cat is coming.
Why did you them cat?
Because they're mice. This is right. This is about Timmy, the mouse, and other mice. Okay, anyway. Homophone, 2 parts to that word. Homo means same. Phone means sound. Okay, so same sound. Words that sound the same, but are spelled differently and have different meanings. Like in this top paragraph at the end. Yes, like that. This is it's and it's. ITS without the apostrophe and IT apostrophe S. They sound the same, but they're spelled a little differently with that apostrophe in there. It, ITS, it's, is a possessive pronoun. It's handle. So if I'm talking about a skillet for the stove or a pan, you know that you have a handle on it. It's the pan's handle, its handle. Okay, the handle belongs to the pan.
Handle's heavy.
This handle is heavy. Its handle's heavy, yes.
No, not right, because it's talking about anything.
Well, no, because remember it is talking about whatever it is. So that would be a pronoun. And then the next one says right here is where I'm at. The possessive pronoun it tells whose and functions as an adjective. Then we have it apostrophe S. It is a contraction. It's morning. It is morning, right? That's when we have 2 words we put together as one. Means a completely different thing than it's without the apostrophe. So that's an example of a homophone. In this book, they put mistakes on purpose with that. You have to find them and then just draw 1 line through the mistake and then write it the correct way above it. Like the example way at the bottom. It says, it's too bad the cat still has its claws. So it's without the apostrophe is incorrect. They drew 1 line through it and put IT apostrophe S. It is the pronoun. So that's why they put PR. And the subject of the sentence. That's why they put an S on top of that. Notice the V next to that is for is. The apostrophe S part of it's. Okay. So it's has a lot of things it's doing, right?
Oh, wow.
It's got, it's a pronoun plus a subject and a verb. And then it's over here, its clause is talking about the clause belonging to it. So there's no apostrophe on that one. And that is an adjective. You guys have any questions about this page? Nope, okay, good. Turn page. 38, a little bit more on the back. Quotation marks.
What is this made?
Quotation marks are when someone's speaking. You probably know that already. And it says, quote and attribution. Quote is what they're saying in quotes, which is those quotation marks. You know, I go like this because that helps me remember. Quote, and then the attribution is who is speaking and the speaking verb with it. So look at this example here. I cannot find the poker. By the way, a poker for a fire is like a metal stick where you poke the fire or you poke somebody. Just kidding. It's for fire. Nico, I saw you thinking. And then the attribution says the maid said. So that's who's speaking and how she said it. She just said.
What they have said. I cannot find it.
That's true. You could put that attribution first. That's right. So the quote goes around what's being said. If the attribution comes after the quote, you use a comma. Notice that there's a comma there after poker. And notice the comma is inside the quotation marks. That's important to remember. Capitalize the first word of a quoted sentence. Capitalize the first word of an attribution when it begins the sentence. So here it says, do not capitalize the first word of an attribution when it follows the quote. So it depends on where it is. Look at this part right here where you see the dark, bigger A for attribution and quote. So if the attribution comes first, that's the person speaking. The maid said, like Nico was saying, you would need to capitalize that and the maid said. And then the quote is also starts with a capital. But look at next to that, it says if the quote comes first and then the attribution, you don't have to capitalize the attribution because you're going after a comma, like in that example. So they're going to make mistakes here on purpose. And you're going to look for them and do the 3 little lines underneath the words that should be capitalized, like here, Julia exclaimed, call the cat. So because the attribution is first, Julia's capital and call should be capital. And then here's more examples underneath that. If the quoted sentence makes a statement, place the period inside the closing quotation marks unless the attribution follows. So here's your example with a period, attribution, comma, quote, period, or quote, comma, attribution. I'm right here toward the bottom of this page. If it's a question, that's when you do attribution, comma, quote, question mark. Or quote, question mark, and then the attribution.
Wait, but that's not a capital?
You're right. It's not a capital A. Very good that you caught that, Nico. Because it's a question. That's the only time you don't, well, I take that back. Question mark and when it's an exclamation mark. Then you don't capitalize the attribution at the end. So that's where it gets a little tricky. Okay. What else here we have? The example at the bottom, Julia exclaimed, comma, call the cat, exclamation point. Okay, there's an example of that. If the attribution comes after, then you only, let's see. You only capitalize that. I think you don't capitalize that. Yeah.
What?
You never capitalize attribution when it comes after the quote.
Yeek?
After the quote. I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeeks would be something.
Yikes.
Or
Yikes. Yeah. Which one are you looking at?
you started looking.
Oh, you're looking ahead. Okay. Let's do, oh, eek. So I'm sorry, I wasn't on that page yet. So Simeon, go ahead and read the sentence to us since you're on there.
Julian jumped onto his big chair and shouted, "Yeek! It's a mouse."
Good. Eek. It's a mouse. So there are some things we got to fix there, but let's go little by little. First of all, the vocabulary is sturdy. Anybody know what sturdy means? Go ahead, Simeon.
It means like well, like it's sturdy and it's not gonna fall.
There you go. The opposite of unstable, maybe. Okay, good. So it's not going to fall. Check mark by vocabulary. Man, you guys are already going ahead of me. So let's put a, and the next to article at the top. Go ahead and find those by yourself. There's two. You got those?
Okay. Yeah.
How about Trevor? How about the nouns? Where are the nouns at here?
Nouns are Julia, chair, and mouse.
Good. Julia, chair,
Pronouns, it's right.
mouse.
Pronoun, right?
Well, let's see if Ethier can find the pronoun. It's. Now, that's wrong though, right? Did you notice that? It's a homophone. Remember how we talked about it's?
Yeah.
Because really it should say it is a mouse, not it's, because remember its handle, that's when it doesn't have an apostrophe. So how should we spell that, Ethier? It's.
IT apostrophe.
There you go. So just put one line through it and then put IT apostrophe S, and then you're right on top of it, put PR, because it is a pronoun. It is a
Wait, was
pronoun.
that the inter? Oh, wait, no.
That is the, you can check off
Oh, is
homophone. Homophone over here. Yep. All right, so we got the pronoun. Excuse me. How about Nico? What about the adjective? A word to describe one of the nouns.
Jumped.
No, that's a verb.
Yeah.
That's an action.
Sturdy.
Yeah, there you go. And it's describing the chair. ADJ for that. Coordinating conjunctions. What's the little you got, that's right. So let me ask Simeon, where's the coordinating conjunction?
And.
Good. So CC on top of and. Very good. Interjection, Trevor. Which one?
That is probably eek.
Eek. Eek. INT. All right. Back to where we at Ethier and
Eek.
Ethier. What about the prepositional phrase? Do you know where that's at yet?
And shouted.
No, that's a coordinating conjunction.
Onto a sturdy chair.
There you go. Onto a sturdy chair. Here's a clue. If you guys get stuck on that, I think I've told you this before. Do the rest of the list first and then come back to that. And it'll be the only word that doesn't have a label on it. That's how you can tell if you get stuck on that. Now we're on to subject verb pairs. So let's look for verbs. Nico.
We already said that before.
Yeah, we did say that. You get a freebie. What's the other verb, Nico? Jumped and action. Think of action. Oh, you're right though. It's is one because it's the is part of it's. So that's one.
Verb.
A verb. Yeah, put a V right on top of the S for it's, but there's also one more. Even though it says two subject verb pairs, by the way, that just means there's two subjects, but there could be more than two verbs.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's one more verb in there.
The subject valid?
Yes, good.
The subject would be Julia, right?
For part of it, yes. So subject in the first part is Julia. Put an S above the noun there. And then in the quote though, what's the subject in there? You know? It, good. So on top of PR for pronoun, you're gonna put S. So there's a lot going on right there. Does that make sense, you guys? You got that? Okay, and then we got all the subjects. The two subjects. Capitals, Simeon.
Capitals, Julia.
Good.
Wait,
There's three.
is yeet.
Yep, eek.
Yeah, eek. And it's.
Good. The I and it's. We either need to take out a comma or put a comma in. Do you know, Ethier, what we need to do with the comma?
Do you like that little pigtail?
Pigtail thing to take it out? After what word?
What pigtail? Here.
Yes, it's like this. It's a little squiggly line. That's the symbol to take out a comma.
Oh, okay. Looks like
Um,
an E, kind
kind of like a cursive E, yeah. It's a little squiggly line. I'm just gonna show Wyatt here in case he hasn't seen it yet. You can pause it there if you need to, Wyatt. You know. Recording just for him. Okay, taking it out there, you're right. Why would we take out that comma there? Do you know why?
Because it would be Julia jumped onto the study chair. Did you do the adjective? And it would be Julia jumped onto the study chair and shouted.
Okay, so if you had
Another
three
one.
things, yeah. If you had three things she did, if she jumped, she shouted, and she ran, then you would need commas,
She
right?
ran.
But because it's only
Chair.
two things, she
And
jumped and shouted,
Or
those are
ran
two.
Chair and jumped.
Good. And then the end mark, by the way, did you guys notice the little note here? No closing quotation mark because quote continues. So we're not gonna put it quotation mark there, but we do need an end mark, so. Is it an exclamation point? It is, I agree. She's going, "Eek." She's screaming, it's. Julia,
Scary.
is Julia the cat?
No, I think that's
The maid, okay, that's right, okay. Okay, yeah, so she's like,
If you did the.
she's the cook?
Yes. This
Oh,
part of here says Julia and the cook.
oh, good, Simeon, okay. Either way, she's like upset about a mouse, and I don't blame her. Did you? Don't spoil it for us, though. Okay, you guys can write it down later when you get home. We're done with grammar for today. Sorry for the earthquake test here. Okay. Let's get into the binder. So write that later, guys. Your sister does the same thing, Nico. Okay. In your binder, you guys wrote about the emperor and the soup. Did you guys see my notes that I put on your homework on the Google Classroom? Did you guys see them yet? Okay, because I made. You did. I know you did because because you already fixed some of your stuff on your paper. On the Google Classroom, I will always make comments on your homework there. So make sure you go to, you know how you click on classwork. I know you're turning it into me separately, but you know how you click on classwork on Google Classroom, you're gonna see a place that says view your work. Click on that and then open up your homework and you'll see my comments in there. Okay, so that's where you can see that. If you need help with that, they'll let me know because it's really important that you read those comments. Did you have a question, Simeon?
Kind of. So this whole week we've been kind of busy.
Okay.
We were helping Leah because he poured his concrete on his down.
Okay.
But so I didn't really have time to sign into my Google Classroom.
That's okay.
And the only time we did, the computer was dead.
No.
We didn't have a charger.
You're like, finally I can sit down and do my homework. And you're like, oh no, it's dead. That's the worst. All right. So on your checklist, let's look at your, get out all your stuff for emperor and the soup. That should be in your front pocket. Go ahead and get all that stuff out first. Okay. And I do want you to look at the checklist first really quick. That's on page 51. The emperor and his soup and the soup.
Wait.
Look at the checklist first. Ah, see? That checklist. This is the part I use to grade your work. So make sure you actually look at this checklist and follow it. Look down where it says style. You've got 3 things you should have underlined in each paragraph. So I know you didn't do yours yet, Simeon. So when you do, make sure you remember that.
I forgot.
LY.
No, I forgot the titles. Where I got.
Oh, wait, you did turn it in. I thought you said you didn't get to turn it in or
No,
finish.
we did it my nan's computer, but we finished that signing.
Oh, okay. So you did it, but you didn't turn it into Google Classroom yet. That's fine. Okay, I understand.
The date, we just did it yesterday. That was all the time.
That's all right. You got it done. That's good.
I did mine on.
But you forgot about the banned words. Here, I'm gonna hand this back to you. I bet you can find them. Just cross them out and put a new word on that paper.
Yeah, well, here, you can keep this, I got, I sent it to you.
Oh, you printed too, perfect. Yeah. Band words, let's look at those really quick first because that's kind of new to you guys. Say, said, seesaw, go, went. Make sure you did not use those words. Okay. There's a way to check it if you use Google Docs. I know I showed Nico, but I'll show you guys that next time. But anyway, make sure you didn't use those words. And then ly, who, which, and strong verb. Those three should be underlined in each paragraph. Okay. We're gonna get more today.
Band words?
Yes. Mhm. Okay. So, in fact, get out, let's do that first. Your band words list.
I already have it out.
We're gonna add think, thought.
Is that it?
So in the box, just one, yeah. Think slash thought now is considered a band word. What can we say instead of think, thought?
Pondered.
Ooh, pondered, good one.
Pondered.
Thought there was a snake in here for a second. So we're like, pondered, write that down. Under think, thought, what else? Good. These are things that happen inside your head, right? Your thinking and your thought process is internal inside your head. So wondered.
Wondered.
Any others?
See mine?
That would be, but remembered, that would be one that happens inside your head. Remembered.
It will.
Dreamed. Imagined.
Thought.
What?
Said thought.
That is the band word though. It's hard to think of.
What about thought? Say said.
Brainstorm. Brainstormed. You guys know what a brainstorm is?
Yeah. Your brain has a storm.
Yeah. I'm gonna put ed just because we're keeping it all past tense, but there you go. You'll think of others when you have more time to think about that. No more think thought. This is going to be tricky, especially in this next story that we're going to do.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and put this blue page behind the tab that says banned words. Yes. There's a tab that says banned words all the way in the back. But that's where they're at. If you, while you're, working on your paragraph and you need this list, go there to the banned words. The rest of week 5 can go in finished compositions. Make sure you put this overview page on top of your stack of stuff. That I don't care what order it goes behind that, but just make sure this one's on top.
This one?
Yeah, it goes on top of the stack behind everything else in this tab here. So behind all the pizza, chili, blah, 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 out there. Don't forget to close your rings and start turning pages here.
This one? Behind it? Yeah.
Behind it, yep. Oh yeah, pull on these. You might bend the rings if you pull on the rings. What are we doing next? We are doing putting away week 5, get out week 6, which is the city mouse and the country mouse. 4 pages.
Oh, I missed one. No. Wait, really?
Did you find it?
I'm sorry. You doing our grammar book?
Done with grammar.
No, but that's the grammar.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was like, wait, what? You're right, the grammar is called, wait,
Grammar's only one word.
oh, look at grammar is called town mouse and country mouse. This story is called city mouse and country mouse. I didn't pick up on that until just now. But you're right. Okay, it's a little different, but kind of the same.
Source text. We need.
Source text, so
So
this is week 6, it's just 4 pages until you see week 7 and don't get that one out.
eating together.
Just get out city mouse and country mouse. Oh, and one more thing we have to do before you put away your binder, sorry. Go to your stylistic techniques tab. No, pink paper stays out. We're adding a new dress up today.
No.
So you should have 1 should be LY adverb, you should already have that. 2 should be who, which, clause. Yeah, I don't know if we put strong verb on there, but 3 should be strong verb.
We did, so.
Okay.
I have a
And then 4 is because clause. So now we have 4. These are your dress ups.
He went to the house because, like, where the other one you could put, he went back to the elderly's house because he wanted to know what the last.
It's probably the easiest one out of all of them, honestly. You're just basically explaining why something happened, or yeah, giving a little bit more. Strong verbs come from your band word list mostly, but yeah. Okay, got it? That's it for that page. So just leave it in there. I just wanted you to add that.
Now we're gonna need another paper.
All right, now you need a lined piece of paper, just 1 lined piece of paper.
There's only one.
And then we're just gonna look at the pink page first. So get out a lined piece of paper.
Okay, this here page.
This pink page, I'll wait till you guys get all that stuff. And you can write on top of your binder if you want, or you can move your binder somewhere else. There's plenty
Oh
of
my
room.
god. That's a lot of
Trevor's
words.
like squished in the corner there, but that's where you got that extra
Isn't
table.
all the LY words in the word?
No, this isn't even all of them in the whole world. This is just this is actually a small list, but it's handy, right? This is cool. Now you got a lot more choices here.
Level.
Notice, and we're not gonna read them all, but you can kind of glance at some of them. Let's look at the bottom though, because you're right, there is an imposter list. That means, do you guys know what imposter means?
Yeah.
What is it? How do you explain that?
Like chili. Chili is a food. It's a verb, not a.
But the actual word imposter,
Oh.
what does that word mean?
It means you kill everybody in a month.
Wait, what?
It's a game.
Oh, I figured it was part of a game. An imposter is somebody pretending to be somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Like in the movies or whatever. They're dressed like them, they sound like them, they're trying to be like them, but they're not the real them, right? So if you ever go to Hollywood and you're walking around Hollywood and you'll see somebody dressed like Jack Sparrow, right? But it's not really Johnny Depp. But they're acting like he's Johnny Depp, but he's not really Johnny Depp, so don't be fooled.
He actually went to Disneyland and in the ride hid in his costume.
I heard about that.
Me too.
Oh
Wait,
man,
what?
wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that was funny.
Wait, what
That
happened?
So in the ride Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland, it was actually Johnny Depp that time, and he dressed up
I saw
as
that
Jack
one.
Sparrow, and he was in the
I
ride, like
saw
he was part of the
Yeah, I
background stuff. Man, that would have been a cool day to go to Disneyland.
I've
Anyway.
never been.
I think my sister was
When I
there.
was 2. But
Oh, you need to go back for sure.
We're going February.
I haven't been back in years, but
Me and my
I've
sister
never
went
gone.
great.
it's different now. I don't know. Anyway, okay, at the bottom here.
rather go to Great Wolf Lodges on the street.
Imposters are words that look like ly adverbs, but they're not really. Look down at that list. It says chilly, friendly, ghastly, ghostly, holy, kingly,
Wait,
nightly,
there's ghastly
lonely,
and ghost characters. Are those
Mhm.
the same thing?
ghastly. No, it's ghastly is like when you're
Pokemon.
Like-
It is.
shocked, I think is how you would explain that.
Yeah.
Ghostly is if something's, yeah, you're like, yeah. Okay, lovely, orderly, prickly, queenly, surely, ugly, worldly, wrinkly. Those have LYs, but they're not adverbs. They're adjectives. They're describing something, right? Wrinkly is describing your face, not my face, an old person's face, right? I'm just kidding. So yeah, those look like it, but they're not. And then there's a bunch of lines here. If you think of other words to add to this list, you can.
If you probably say it's probably gonna be on this, and I don't wanna go through it. I think it was.
Let's set up our story sequence chart because that's what we're working on again this week. So get out your line piece of paper here. And you know what to do on that top line. It's cool on Amazon. I actually bought a giant magnet that looks like a lined piece of paper. I'm so excited. So I can just go, and then I can write on top of it. It's gonna be great. I didn't get it yet though. Hopefully next week.
It's the 23rd, right?
It is, yes. And you can write it with numbers if you want.
I survived 8 days until home. Tomorrow survived an entire
And
month of being in 11.
5 days until my party. Hopefully you guys can all come to my
what is it?
harvest
Saturday.
festival.
Saturday. I thought mom said it was Thursday.
Uh-oh,
No, it is not.
Saturday.
Thursday.
I won't-
Saturday.
I won't be out there on Thursday. You'll be showing up, and you're like, wow, some party this is. Where's all the stuff? All right, we're gonna read the story of the city mouse, so it's kind of a long title, but go ahead and skip a line and write the title, The City Mouse and the Country. Quick reminder about titles. Notice and the do not have a capital. That's because they're not keywords, right? The first one is not a keyword, but it is the first word. It's always capital. The first and last words, always capital. Everything in between, keywords. Just a clue, okay? You're gonna do SSC under that. Do you remember what that stands for?
Story sequence chart.
You're gonna draw a line down, not exactly in the middle, a little bit to the left. We're gonna just set this up first, okay?
Oh,
Remember how to set this up? 1, 2,
One
3.
this time or just 3?
Just 3, but we're gonna leave a space because sometimes we like to have a 4. That just put the X there. That just means skip a space after the 3.
how many paragraphs?
3 paragraphs.
Three.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you're gonna draw a line across right on top of the Roman numeral because we're making a chart. Okay, so just kind of go across, right on top of the Roman numeral, right on top of the Roman numeral.
And then below it.
Oh yeah. I always like to just finish it off so it's nice and tidy. Like that. Who remembers what we usually introduce at the beginning of a story?
Characters and setting.
Okay, good. Characters,
Chart.
setting. You remember what questions we asked there in that first box? To figure out the characters? Okay, good. Who?
What?
Not what, that's later.
Who?
How do you find the setting?
Mhm.
When and where? There you go, you got it. So I'm gonna do
When and
where. I'm gonna put where first, just because that's the way I've always done it. So who, where, when, those are the questions you're asking in the first box.
Who, what, when, where, why?
Okay,
What, when, where? What?
how about, usually in the middle, what happens here? Do you remember?
Problem?
Yes, what's the other word? Conflict, good. Conflict/problem. If you don't have enough room on one line, it's okay to use 2. And then what's the question we ask there? We have who, where, what, when, who, where, when.
What?
There you go. Like, what does the character need? What does the character want? What's the problem, right? What is happening here?
Why? Wait, is it?
You could include why. What is the main one? And then the last box?
Climax and resolution.
Good, yes, climax. /resolution. Climax is that part where you're like, Are they gonna die? Are they gonna live? Are they gonna win? Are they gonna lose? What's
And
gonna
it's
happen?
like when you're watching your show and like your favorite character dies.
Ugh,
You're like,
That's the worst.
no, I'm like, no, I've seen this video and it's exactly like when somebody dies in a movie. When a dog dies in a movie.
Oh, that's the worst. I
That is-
cannot handle that when a dog dies.
See
I
like those
cannot.
dogs, it's like they're like,
Or a donkey.
like, or anything, and the dogs are in like shelter and stuff. I'm like, just stop. I can't watch it.
And or have you ever watched a movie and you're like really into it and it's really good, and then at the very end you find out it was all a dream and it didn't even really happen, and you're like, really? And he wakes up and is like, really? I didn't really like that ending. Okay, what question are we asking here for the climax part and the
Why?
resolution?
How?
There you go. How solved? Good. How solved. Okay. We're gonna focus just this week on just the very first part with the characters and setting. So that's the good news for you. You only have one paragraph to work on this week. But we are gonna read the whole story. It's kind of long, and we're gonna talk about it. And then
It won't be a long story.
right, and then you're gonna practice in that first paragraph. You got 4 dress ups to include now. So
Really, you do one paragraph?
we're gonna, yeah,
Wow.
homework is, I backed off a little bit on you guys. I know, you're welcome.
I think it's worth it for another band this morning. It's worth it.
Okay, thank
Because I
you.
never had the time to do my homework, so this morning I'm like typing. I'm still typing, so I'm just like. But then I kind of like started picking up the pace
Oh, good.
because I learned.
The more
how to
you do it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know there's typing games. At least it's, you know, I know it's still boring, but you, when you learn how to use all your fingers, you can type pretty fast. Actually,
Nitro
faster
typing-
than this, I
Nitro-
promise.
Nitro type is a good one to practice.
I saw
on.
all of these are fun, like pretty much I like know where they are. on the
Yeah.
keyboard, But I just.
It's hard to use different fingers. I know, but I know you could probably go pretty fast with
I
one.
think it's 2 fingers anyway.
Ah,
I'm not going to.
but if you can keep your fingers in one spot
Well, I'm
and then just move them like this,
My
I
mom
mean,
used
you
to
can
do
go.
work.
Your words are like, "Ooh."
When my mom's working, I can hear her typing. I hear.
That's how I type too.
Well, some guy who was like setting the high score for a game.
Really?
It's like this long paragraph, and you see his fingers like you can't even see him moving. They look like they're just like standing still like that, and you can hear the keyboard.
It's all blurred out.
And you
His
see-
fingers are all
you can
blurred
see,
out.
like, you can just see it like one paragraph done, 10 done.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not that fast, but I'm fast. All right, the city mouse and the country mouse. A city mouse once visited a cousin who lived in the country. For lunch, the country mouse served wheat stalks, roots, and acorns with a dash of cold water for drink. It's to us, that's like, really? That's food? Okay. But this is a mouse, so it's okay. The city mouse nibbled a little of this and a little of that by her manner, making it very plain that she ate the simple food only to be polite. After the meal, the city mouse chatted about her life in the city, which is luxurious and
No, with
its luxuries. Hello. Okay, let me try that sentence again. After the meal, the city mouse chatted about her life in the city, which is with its luxuries and delicacies. Luxuries are like, you know, fancy things, special things, expensive things, and then delicacies. You guys, did we do? Oh, we didn't do it in this class, but delicacy is like escargot or
it's
like
delicate enough.
it's delicate. That's the root word. You're right about that, but it's like a fancy appetizer. Yeah. Then they went to bed in a cozy nest in the hedge and slept comfortably until morning. In her dreams, the country mouse enjoyed all the delights of city life that her cousin had described. So the next day, when the city mouse asked the country mouse to go home with her to the city, she gladly agreed and packed her things. After they reached the mansion in which the city mouse lived, they found on the dining room table the leavings of a fine banquet. That just means leftovers, right? There were meats and jellies, pastries, and delicious cheeses. But just as the country mouse was about to taste a morsel of cheddar, a cat meowed loudly. In great fear, the two mice scurried to a hiding place where they lay quite still for a long time, hardly daring to breathe. When at last they ventured back to the feast, the door opened suddenly, and in came the servants to clear the table, followed by the house dog. The country mouse stepped into the city mouse's hole to pick up her bag and umbrella. You might have luxuries and dainties that I have not, she said as she hurried away, but I prefer my plain food and simple country life with the peace and security that go with them. And we live in the country basically out here in Tehachapi. Huh? So there you go. So let's see, let's talk about this. We got two cousins. One's in the city, one's in the country.
That's it.
And the city mouse talked about her life while she was in the country with the country mouse, right? Country mouse, what did she serve again in the country?
Plain
acorn seeds and
wheat stalk roots.
All stuff that she probably grew or that was out there in the field, right?
How do you grow roots?
Roots are part of a plant, right?
Yeah.
Like carrots is a root. Did you know that? And potatoes are roots. Things that grow underground, beets, turnips, radishes. Things that grow underground. What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say herbs.
Herbs grow on top though. Things that are roots that we eat. There's probably more. I can't think of any more at the moment, but oh, onions, you know, they grow underground too.
Everything underground and sweet. Potatoes grow underground.
Potatoes grow underground.
Onions.
Yes, they do.
Tomatoes grow underground.
Tomatoes grow above ground
But
on a
it's
plant.
grown underground.
But the roots, okay, so we got the idea. Okay, so the roots, basically everything grown, but the other mouse, the city mouse, what did the city mouse serve?
Cheese.
Cheese
Whatever the people had. La queso.
in a mansion, right? Which is a fancy big home. So all the,
That much of a mansion, because this would be a mansion to a mouse.
that's true, that's a good point. That's true, but the table was full of, you know, people food or human food, right?
Said it was a feast. This thing.
All
was a
right.
big feast for them. It's huge.
Let's talk first about this first box here. We're gonna focus on that one. So who is in this story, obviously? We've got-
The city mouse and the country mouse. And the
Okay.
cat And the dog. And the
Yes,
servants.
okay, we gotta mention all of them. So let's put here next to Roman numeral 1, we have 2, I'm gonna use the number 2, so we don't have to count it. Mice. And then I'm gonna do a dash, and I'm gonna put, did we start with country? I think we did.
Yes, they went to the.
City
they went to-
mouse
the city
visited.
mouse went to the country mouse and the country mouse wanted to go to the city mouse. because
So we're
the
gonna have to try to keep them straight
Two mice.
as far as who's doing what. So we're gonna have to figure out as you're writing this outline.
We killed 4 mice.
Excuse me.
Wait,
Did
did
you
they?
really? In the house?
Yeah, our grandparents' house. I
Yeah.
wanted a mouse. Like
As a pet?
No, you don't. Why?
Oh, they're cute. Aren't they cute?
Your cat.
But they're creepy too. The way they just.
Like, they're walking. What actually the cat did.
Oh, no.
So, that's what we killed two of them.
Oh, no. And it got into some of their food.
Yeah.
They like rice. They get in the rice sometimes.
You can eat oatmeal.
Can't smell.
Yeah.
Just make sure if you eat your cereal, make sure that it is raisins.
So we all know about mice, huh? Everybody's,
Make sure it is
I've had
raisins.
mice. There you go.
Yeah.
They don't like raisins?
Now, if you go into, if they went into your cereal, make sure that it's actually raisins.
Oh, I see. Not something else that comes from a mouse. Yeah, okay, anyway. So we got this, we got these mice, and how are they related to each other?
Cousin.
They're cousins. Okay.
Well, not this one, but.
So like they're one of their parents is
Yeah.
siblings, right? Okay.
Parents will probably eat, but.
So they're cousins,
They look like.
and let's see, in the beginning, they visit, the city mouse visits the country mouse, right? So how are we gonna determine
could put
who's
city.
who?
Put an arrow goes to, for like going to country.
You could do Circle City.
Cause they both start with C, huh? What if we did CI for city and CO for country? Can we do that?
Yeah.
So the CI,
I.
okay. Like that? City mouse?
Arrow to country mouse?
Let's see. Yes. Or we could put visit, because we have room for more words here.
CI,
Visit.
CO.
CI.
I'm gonna just circle
Oh.
CI and CO, just so I remember what those are. City mouse went to go visit the country mouse. Does that make sense to you guys like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever makes sense to you guys.
Let me just circle M also for meals.
And then, what did she serve at the, this is at the country's mouse.
Roots.
Wheat stalks, roots, and acorns. And a dash of cold root.
Stalks, you know what stalks are, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Roots. Acorns? Yeah.
It's acorn.
It's fine.
It's acorn. I mean,
It's singular.
Mini acorns.
it's like
this and it's like.
it's a corn.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Acorn. It's a corn.
So, and then what was the city mouse's reaction to going over to the country mouse?
Bland.
Bland, simple, I think I heard simple. But she was polite, right? She didn't want to be like, this is disgusting. How can you eat this? Where's my cheese? That would be rude, right?
Where's me queso?
Where's me queso? So she was polite. I'm just gonna put like, because we're describing a little bit about the
I just
characters, right?
imagine like
But
Chip
she,
and Dale, if Chip and Dale were rude to each other. It'd be
That's right.
They are sometimes.
Those are the classic cartoons
The city,
from
the city mouse must be really close
You
to
could get a
the
lot of
country
them,
mouse because
they're just free.
Chip and
That's a bit
Dale. I'm
far
trying to
away.
remember, are they Disney characters?
Forever. I think Disney bought them eventually.
Oh, okay.
the mouse for like.
Those are classics.
Chip and Dale are.
Chip and Dale are Disney.
Probably all that cheese.
And all that.
Looney Tunes, yeah. Oh, that was, now you're talking about my era. That was,
My era.
those are the cartoons I watched, man. Bugs
Yeah.
Bunny and Tom and Jerry and no, because
It's a bug in the bunny.
they used to actually have to hand draw those cartoons. Now they just use like
Scared of a Bugs Bunny
programs
thing,
and stuff.
Because it was like sitting on the toilet and it looked violent kind of.
Oh, yeah. That's creepy.
Sitting on a toilet.
A meme?
It was a Bugs Bunny meme, and it's Bugs Bunny himself sitting on a toilet, and he looked violent and stuff.
That's
Like,
not a good
it-
meme.
Yeah, I was like, that's not a
No,
meme.
that's not good. Okay, so, and it was simple. I heard somebody say simple. And then,
What was it?
should we say like uninteresting or boring? What's a good word? Bland,
Plain.
plain, any of those words will work. So you pick whichever one is there.
The plain is blue.
Yeah, same thing.
The plane is bland and the bland is plain.
What?
So-
Exactly.
Okay, so this is a good start because we've introduced who's in the story so far. So far, we had the mice. Where they are, well, one's from the city going to the country. It doesn't really talk about when, so I'm not too worried
It
about
says
that.
1919 in the back.
What?
Middle of winter 1919.
Oh. Wow.
Wait.
Wow. I didn't even pick up on that. We could put in 1919.
No, that's more when the story was written though.
Yeah,
But not when it.
if
took
you
place.
want to, you don't have to, you can put it here because we don't have to count numbers, right? So we could put,
Dang, 1919 was a
1919.
long time ago.
yeah, how many
My
years ago was
mom was
that?
born 1990.
No way.
We're 1980.
1919. Okay, that's a math question for you. How many years ago was it?
I don't wanna do math, I already finished it. I already finished.
You know, a quick way to do math is start with 19 and then count by 10. So 29, 39, 49, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019.
2000.
Now that's 100, right? Because we counted by tens. 19, now count up 5 more from 19.
My grandparents.
20, 21, 22, 23, 4 more. 104.
My grandparents were.
That's how you do math in your head. Okay. What are we doing? Okay, let's look at your checklist really quick. Go to that.
That's my goal.
Page 59. Checklist. It's getting longer. It's gonna eventually fill the whole page, but for now, yes, it will. Okay, notice under dress ups.
Because clause.
Notice under dress ups, you have now 4 words that you have to include in each paragraph. Lucky for you, you only have to do the first paragraph this week. So I'm being nice to you this week. You're welcome. And you're going to include 1 ly, but guess what? You can have more than one, but just underline one. Who, which, when do you use who? When you're talking about
A person.
person.
So
When do you-
city mouse and country mouse.
That's right. So you'll probably use it a bunch when you're talking about them. Which for a place or a thing, like the food, which was bland, you could say, like stalks, roots, acorns, which was bland, which was boring, which was simple, to the city mouse. A strong verb. Now remember, we also have band words. Notice them down here.
Oh.
So on that blue page that we put away earlier, you can use the replacement words as a strong verb there, okay? Don't use these band words, say, said, seesaw, go, went, and now we have think, thought. So even though she was thinking it was bland, she was polite, so she didn't say it out loud, but don't say think. Maybe she
Thought that he remembered.
She pondered that it was bland.
Oh God,
That would work. Pondered. That's the same.
She likes cheese better. She likes queso better. Queso #1.
She remembered. You could say that.
Queso #1.
Man, what's another one? Let's see. She
just wanted her food back at home.
imagined.
Oh, now I want cheese.
Now you want cheese.
I want hot Cheetos right now.
Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. You'll think of it when you're sitting down to do your paragraph. And then the strong. No, we already talked about that. The because clause.
Because.
So, where's an example of where we could use
She
because?
was polite because it was simple. She was polite because she didn't want to be rude that it was simple and bland.
There you go. She didn't want to be rude that it was simple and bland. Now you don't have to use all of these words in one sentence. You can add more sentences in here. You can add to this, okay? You're not going to change the characters and setting and all that this time. You're going to stay with the story. But if you think of ways to add information, you can add to it. Does that make sense? Using because sometimes you need more information to do that. All right. And then everything at the top, don't worry about changing the title yet, because that's when you get to your final sentence. So don't worry about that. Next week, we're going to do the second half of this. Okay. I didn't want to go too fast today. I have to find a happy medium somewhere. All right. Any questions about what you guys are going to work on this week for your homework? Any questions about that? No, you're going to just focus on the first paragraph only. Making sure you follow the checklist. That's really important because some of you forgot to do that. I'm not going to name any names. Excuse me. Anyway, yes, Simeon.
If we did all 3, would we get extra points this week?
Is there points? What's this near?
Cisneros points.
No school.
Then what would you do next week? You would be like homework free.
Well, you could do more.
I'll think about it. How about that? I'll think about it. Possibly.
Maybe you can.
Maybe
like,
next
make
week we
this-
can do both outlines and optional to do the second.
This one here?
Yeah, like we'll do both outlines, but you only have to do the top.
Oh, no, because we do eventually want to have the whole story, so.
Yeah.
What do you mean optional?
Like you want to take one look for each paragraph.
Oh, I'm gonna do, next week we're doing two.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because we had to talk about all those other lists and stuff. So this week we're only doing one and then we're gonna finish it up next week. So if you want to work ahead,
No, thank you.
I'll let you, but you only have to do the first paragraph. How about that? All right, that's it. That's, we ended on time today, which is a miracle. So there you go. And that is it.